What's up, YouTube? Another reaction video. So congratulations to OKC and the Pacers on making the finals. To celebrate that, we're gonna watch two segments of Podcast P. Shout out to Paul George. One for OKC, one for the Pacers. This one is Paul George. I kicked my mic again. Paul George dissecting on if SGA is a foul merchant. Well, let's just dive on in.
It sound right, boy.
Well, if y'all want to keep it on Shea, I want to talk about how his mid-game been money in the playoffs. So, I want to ask you, Pete, what about SGA's game makes him unstoppable? And are the foul merchant allegations overblown?
He's getting killed with that.
He is.
They are.
Him and Brunson.
Yeah, they are. I think it's the reason. Like, you got to match.
Oh, I got it in. My bad. I got the playback speed up. There you go.
Master it, right? I think it's the part of the reason the Knicks are in trouble. And I think it's part of the reason why the Thunder are, have in the driver's seat of their series, right? I think for Jalen, they aren't calling it as much, right? And so it's becoming tough. He's got Neesmith on him nonstop. He's got Nembhard on him nonstop. And they're not giving him as many of those calls as he was getting. Whereas Shea, I think he does a great job of putting pressure on the officials by playing physical, where it puts the defender in a position to make, I have to, I think the amount of separation that Shea creates makes him, guys swipe for the ball or guys lunge out to block a shot, or it puts guys in a position where they're out of control because of the physicality Shea plays with.
So real quick, just my opinion on it. I don't think he's a foul merchant. Every player kind of tries to draw fouls or look at the ref from time to time. Let's be real. Every basketball player does it, whether you're in the NBA, high school, college, FIBA, middle school, it don't matter. I don't think he's a foul merchant. Like you said, he creates a lot of space. He has a lot of moves in his arsenal. When he creates that space, obviously you're more tempted to jump out and try to block or contest, trying to swipe, get the steal, just trying to play catch up. And then he gets you with that counter, and then you're just in the bad spot. So no, I don't think he's a foul merchant.
Shea's super strong. He's a lot like me. He plays with his shoulders. He bumps. He gets you off balance with his shoulders. He puts his weight on you and then can stop on a dime. And he's really good at, like, all right, if you put your arms out there, I'm going to shoot through it. I'm going to swing through it. So I think it's more to it with Shea than him foul baiting. I think he just understands how to play physical and get guys out of position to draw fouls.
It's a mind game,
too.
too.
To jump out the gym. He doesn't use athleticism to, attack the basket. He's crafty. He's skilled. He's pivot. He's footwork. He's mid-range. He's got the mid-post. He's got the isolation. Now he's unlocked shooting more threes, so you have to guard him further out. I just think all of that in collection, it makes him that much better as a weapon. That's why he's so deadly, because he's a 3-level scorer. He you can give him the ball at the free throw line where you can't double him, and he's so good in the mid-range, he doesn't need a dribble to score sometimes. His jab steps, his pump fakes, the way he can contort his body, like he's just unlocked this whole level of mid-range mastery that, like, it's as a defender, it's kind of hard to kind of be on, he just throws you off guard. It's kind of hard to, like, gauge what he's going to do. So I think he's becoming, unstoppable, especially when he's got the shooters like OKC around him. where they got quick triggers and it gives him so much space to play through.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of just the physicality that we've been seeing in the playoffs, and it sparked this foul merchant debate between a few guys in our league. What are your thoughts just on the physicality of this year's playoffs? And compare that to the regular season, because to me, being an average NBA fan, it looks like they're allowing a lot more physicality in the playoffs this year. And I'm curious if you think that we have any chance of this potentially carrying over not only to playoffs next year, but more importantly, carrying over into the NBA regular season next year.
Yeah, I think all of it has just got to be consistency. Like, it's just got to be consistency. Because we see now, like, why were y'all rewarding these guys doing this stuff in the regular season when you know they weren't fouls, and now you're letting us play?
Yeah, you're letting them play.
Yeah.
It's just like, be consistent, right? But I mean, it should be a message. Hey, listen, we're going back to the old school basketball, traditional basketball. You know, we'll monitor the foul calling, like games of 30, 40 free throws.
We haven't got to the finals yet, though. We don't know if they're going to change in the finals.
They're not changing the finals. If anything, it's going to be even more physical.
You think so?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Actually, I'll wait. It's only
It's
40
gotta be.
seconds
You
left.
don't like. Come on now, as fans, we don't want to see the refs dictate who becomes the champion of
Right.
the finals. Like, we want to see those dudes lay it out there on the court. But yeah, it should be this way. Like, it should be consistent from regular season. Now there's got to be a difference. You know what I mean? There needs to be a separation of, like, all right, that was regular season ball. This is what playoffs is like. I get that, but to some degree, it's got to be some consistency there.
All right, shout out to Podcast P. Shout out to Paul George and his team, what they got going on. My quick minute analysis summary. I agree with all the points. And accountability. Shout out to the ABC crew. You got to have good communication. You got to have good consistency. With the consistency, just call it the same way. Like, if you can't just change the way you're reffing from game to game. You know, then the full season is not consistent. And then you have these what ifs on, oh, if I would have got this foul, we had won this game, and blah blah blah. And then communication. The league has to publicly address these changes. How they're calling games, how physical or soft they're gonna let them play. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just change your rules behind the scenes and not communicate that. But I mean, that's just my analysis, and I could be wrong. But you know, y'all let me know what y'all think. Again, shout out to Paul George. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, and we out.